Good morning, Bob, and thank you again for joining me here. I know as the owner of the company, your time is very valuable, so I really appreciate it. But I do believe what we're going to go over this morning is also extremely valuable and will be long down the road. And what I've brought you here to talk about is mobile marketing. And I've basically drawn up a complete mobile marketing plan for the next year of business. It will begin hypothetically starting at the first of next month. And just so we're all clear, obviously there's a number of entities that fall under the Southern Harvest Hospitality Group umbrella. The three that I'm going to be discussing today are Q-Shack Barbecue, and we'll be talking about the restaurant as well as catering services, Southern Harvest Catering Company, and also Elements Coffee Bar. So I know that we talk about this all the time, that our company gains a lot of business through word of mouth and just local reputation. But I designed this marketing plan in an attempt to change that. Obviously, we'd love to keep that business, but I think we can grow a lot more if we implement a lot of what we're going to discuss. And basically, our main goals will be to increase local awareness through our mobile marketing. And I hope by April 1st of 2019, we will have increased company revenue by 10%. And first, we need to discuss our target audience because that's key before we get started here. And obviously, it's broken down dependent on what aspect of the company we're talking about. And first off, we'll go with Q-Shack, and that's located in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're trying to target working professionals coming in for lunch and young families, as it's a nice sit-down environment, but not too expensive either. And we've noticed that's a huge part, and we would like to keep more coming in. Next would be Southern Harvest Catering. You'll see here, I'm hoping to get 100% of Duke University's catering business. Obviously, we own a gigantic chunk of what they do catering-wise, but there's still individual schools within the university where we're not in, and I think this campaign will help that effort. We're also going to be targeting weddings, graduations, and holidays. Obviously, that's a huge portion of our business already, but I think advertising specific to those events will bring us a lot of business in the next year. And lastly, for Elements Coffee Bar, we'd like to target moms and kids and museum members. And also, we're going to do hopefully a lot of social media ads targeting a 5-mile radius around the museum. And the three aspects that we will review this morning are website audit, a SMS text message campaign via a membership with Slick Text, and just general social media usage as well as paid for advertising. Okay, so we'll get started with auditing our website. And obviously we redone our desktop version very recently. It looks a lot better. We've already gotten a ton of good feedback on it. But on the mobile side, it is still lacking. And I included these two screenshots to provide an example here. So the screenshot on the left shows the regular home page, and you'll see on the bottom and the top there's a large amount of white space, and that space on the bottom actually continues for quite some time. And I took another screenshot on the right, and that's just if you scroll down from the home page, you will see nothing but white, and we need to get that taken care of because it's not a good look if someone's checking out our company for the first time. And we know that websites are huge here. Obviously, the food is important, the price point is important, but as customers shop around on the internet locally, you need the website to bring more business in. And some changes that I would like to make, I touched on it with the white space there, but we need a more mobile-friendly platform. And I'd also like to change the format a bit on our call to action buttons. You see here the learn more. It's a little boring there with the text. I think we can have some more fun. And also I'd like to add some color there to make it pop and stand out from the background. As far as search engine optimization goes, I believe that we should include city and state on each page, and that's something that we can include on the bottom header on each page. It'll be easy to do. And we should also include a map on the About Us page within that map, I'd like each of the 3 locations that we're talking about today. As these changes occur, we're going to be running A/B testing to make sure they're working. And we can do all of this through our third party that we've used for our desktop version. And they'll be more than happy to run those tests for us. And I'd also like to just note here, we talked a little bit about SEO with adding the city and state in the map. Usually it takes about 3 to 4 months for SEO to improve on a website. So I'd just like us all to keep that in mind as we move forward. And next we're going to talk about our text message campaigns, and they're going to be specific to the Q-Shack restaurant and the Elements Coffee Bar. And I advise we have 2 separate numbers for each restaurant. So people are going to need to opt in, and I actually advise doing a double opt-in just to be sure. And we're going to be advertising for these on flyers by the register. We can include info on our social media pages. We can dedicate individual posts on social media to get people opting in. We're going to add a little tidbit onto our website. And I also recommend adding a small line or 2 on the emails. And I've provided an easy way to do that. And examples on the next page, which we'll get to in a second. And as far as what's going to be happening, as people opt in, they will get an auto reply with a coupon. Along with that, the auto reply will be asking for email information, and that's going to be key as we're running different email campaigns. We can start to build lists there. And I advise text messages going out about once a week. Obviously, that equates to 4 a month, and I think that's pretty standard. And we'll start there, and we can revisit it as we go forward. And as I just mentioned, here's some examples I wanted to show. So I actually set up a free membership with Slick Text, and they allow you to use a lot of cool marketing tools free of charge. And so here's some examples. On the left, we have a flyer. As I mentioned, we can put these right next to the register for free marketing. On the far right is the coupon I mentioned with the auto reply. And that's just a way to say thank you for opting in, and adds value and reassures them that they made the right decision. And hopefully will cut down on people opting out too quickly. And in the middle is actually a digital opt-in form. And as I mentioned, when we send out emails with information about this, that's just including that URL is a quick and easy way to get people to opt in digitally. And last but not least, we're going to talk about social media. And I broke this down into 2 separate things. One would be, free posts, just getting our company out there and increasing followers. The other would be paid for advertising. Now, as far as just increasing what we're doing, I'd like to start following more people in our industry, especially locally, start commenting daily, and anytime we post, say we're at an event and we're posting a picture from a wedding of the food that we've got, I'd like us to tag the DJ, the florist, the dress company, as many vendors as possible. And I think that will increase our relationships there, and they'll be more than happy to reciprocate as they post on their social media platforms. And as we move forward, I'd like to include our Instagram and Facebook handles on all of our print marketing collateral. So that's going to cost a little money, but it'll be worth it down the road, obviously, and can just be the standard from now on to include that. And paid for advertising, we can boost posts that we've already shared, and we can also just do sponsored ads, and all of those will be geographic specific. I included weddings here because that's something specific we can target. It's an age group that's easy to classify, following a little bit of research. And I wanted to include a few examples. So here's an example of us sharing someone else's post. So this is from our Facebook. You'll see here we shared the Matthews House. That's our partner venue in Cary, North Carolina. And it's just a fun post. Obviously, it's around holiday season at that time. So we were partnering with them and hosting a New Year's Eve event with them. And this was just a fun post. And I'd like to see more of this going out, and definitely more shares of partner venues that we work with consistently. And on this next slide, you will see an example of a good Instagram post. And Instagram's the perfect platform for a photo like this. There's lots of color, it catches your eye, and I advise doing more stuff like this. And we can give the impression that we're posting live at an event, whether we are or are not. But it's a good look. Our food looks great. You'll see the hashtags here that we've started including on every post: Southern Harvest Catering, weddings, finger food. Hopefully those will increase our followership if we can remain consistent with these. And that will wrap up the majority of the presentation. And now on to the fun part, where we'll talk about the budget. And I'm asking for $10,500 total here, and you'll see it broken down, by individual aspect. And the website audit, after doing a little research and talking with our third party, should be about $5,000 to get that mobile website up and running, as well as making the changes that we discussed, and then conducting those A/B and tests down the road. Next up is a text message campaign, and you'll see it broken down here. I advise for 3 months just using the basic program with Slick Text. That's $29 a month. We can upgrade that after a quarter of the year as membership grows, and we'll need more bandwidth there. We'll also need to create flyers and new sales collateral with that opt-in information. So I've included a budget for that as well. And lastly is the social media side of things. And you'll see here that I'm advising that we dedicate a person or persons to be consistently posting. We just hired 2 interns that would be perfect for this role for the duration of their time with us. I'm suggesting something like a $100 stipend per month just to post on top of what they're doing already. And lastly, I'm asking for $3,000 dedicated to paid for ads. But that is the end of my presentation. I hope you liked what you saw. I think this is going to be vital for us as times are changing in marketing. And I hope that you approve this budget. And I want to say thank you again for your time. And thank you for this class, Bob. It's been a pleasure.